The moment I saw my wife laughing with another man, her hand resting lightly on his arm while they stood together near the center of a crowded charity banquet, something inside me shattered. For months, our marriage had been strained by late nights, unexplained phone calls, and conversations that ended in silence. Seeing her smile at him the way she used to smile at me felt like confirmation of every fear I had carried. My chest tightened with anger and disappointment. Without confronting her, without asking a single question, I turned around and headed for the exit, convinced I had finally witnessed a betrayal that would end everything. As I pushed through the crowd, memories of our 10 years together flashed through my mind like scenes from a movie. I remembered our wedding day, the promises we made, the apartment we built into a home, and the countless sacrifices we had made for each other. Yet those memories only made the pain worse. In my mind, the evidence was undeniable. Why else would she be standing so close to another man, smiling so comfortably while I stood alone across the room? Every insecurity I had buried suddenly came rushing back. I felt humiliated, foolish, and determined never to look back again. I was only a few steps from the main doors when I heard my wife's voice echo through the ballroom microphone. The sudden sound made everyone stop talking. Even I froze. "Before anyone leaves tonight," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "there is something important I need to share." Curious murmurs spread throughout the room. I glanced back to spite myself. She stood on the stage now, holding the microphone tightly while the same man I had seen moments earlier stood nearby. My anger returned instantly. Apparently, she was ready to make whatever this was public. The crowd settled into silence as she took a deep breath. "For the past year," she began, "someone very important to me has believed he wasn't enough." Her eyes searched the room until they found mine. Suddenly, every person turned to look in my direction. My stomach dropped. She continued speaking, describing a husband who worked tirelessly, who always put others first, and who never realized how much people admired him. The words sounded strangely familiar. Then she smiled sadly. "That husband is standing right there, preparing to walk away because he thinks I betrayed him." Confusion replaced my anger. What was she talking about? Why was she speaking as if she knew exactly what I had been thinking? She gestured toward the man beside her. "Many of you don't know this," she said, "but Michael is an event coordinator who has spent 6 months helping me organize tonight." The man nodded politely. "Together, we've been planning a surprise for someone who deserves far more recognition than he ever gives himself." People began exchanging curious glances. My certainty started crumbling, replaced by an uncomfortable feeling that perhaps I had misunderstood everything. Then the large screen behind the stage illuminated, displaying photographs from different stages of my life. Childhood pictures appeared first, followed by images from college, our wedding, and countless moments I barely remembered. There were photographs of me helping neighbors during storms, volunteering at shelters, mentoring struggling teenagers, and supporting friends through difficult times. I stared in disbelief. I had never known these moments had been documented. One by one, people in the audience stood up and shared brief stories about how I had impacted their lives. The room filled with gratitude directed entirely toward me. As the presentations continued, my wife stepped closer to the microphone. Tears shimmered in her eyes. "The truth is," she said softly, "I noticed something changing in my husband last year. He stopped seeing his own worth. He smiled less. He doubted himself more. No matter how much I told him how important he was, he never believed me." Her voice cracked slightly. "So I decided to show him instead." Suddenly, everything clicked together. The secret phone calls, the late meetings, the unexplained absences. They had all been connected to planning this event. The realization hit me with overwhelming force. I felt ashamed remembering how quickly I had assumed the worst. While she had been dedicating months to creating this extraordinary surprise, I had quietly built a case against her in my own mind. Every innocent action had become suspicious because I had allowed fear to replace trust. My wife looked directly at me. "I know you've been worried," she admitted. "I've seen it in your eyes. I want to tell you everything so many times. But I needed tonight to be perfect." Tears streamed down her cheeks now. "I never stopped choosing you. Not for a single second." The audience remained silent, as I slowly walked back toward the stage. Every step felt heavier than the last. When I finally reached her, neither of us spoke immediately. The emotions were too overwhelming. Then she handed me a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter filled with memories, promises, and reasons she loved me. At the bottom was a simple sentence. Whenever you doubt yourself, remember that my greatest decision was choosing you. My vision blurred with tears. Looking up, I saw hundreds of people watching, many wiping away tears of their own. I wrapped my arms around her, holding her tighter than I had in years. The ballroom erupted into applause, but I barely heard it. All I could think about was how close I had come to throwing away something precious, because of assumptions and fear. The man I had viewed as a threat was simply helping create one of the most meaningful nights of my life. Standing there surrounded by friends, strangers, and the woman who had never stopped believing in me, I realized a shocking truth wasn't about her at all. It was about trust and how easily doubt can blind us to love.